What's going on? This is neutral speculation. I just want to talk about the previous fight, Shadasia Green versus Lonnie Daniels. That was a good fight up until Shadasia Green got stopped in the eighth round. I believe it was the eighth round. She afterwards was hospitalized. She was carried out on a stretcher prior to her being in the hospital. Um, News reports say that she suffered from some severe brain uh, trauma, a brain bleed, to make it short. It's really unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate. And the good thing about it is she actually went out there on social media, put a few messages out there saying that she'll be okay, she'll be back at 100%. And she also pretty much said something that really stuck out to me. She was like, "I'll be back to take what's mine," and that's just awesome. That's great. It shows that she's a competitor, no matter what state that she's in. She's a fighter, a good fighter in the ring, a fighter outside of the ring. You know, I respect that 100%. But I do wish her a good recovery. You know what I mean? She got to take her time. She got to be patient and understand that. I'm pretty sure she understands, but just in general, for anyone that's watching this or whatever, is like your health is your wealth. Your health is very important. It's primarily the only thing we do have is good health, and our brain it got to function right. So I say all that to say that although we may suffer from certain injuries, whether it's through sports or in life or whatever, we got to have alternatives. We got to know how to move and make adjustments. I want to reference this fighter, former boxer, now a respected movie actor, writer, and I believe he's a director as well. Um, Michael Bent. Michael Bent was a former WBO World Championship boxer. You know what I mean? He was one of the guys that was written off. You know what I mean? Prior to him becoming a world champion, he was a five-time national Golden Glove champion, five-time national champion, and he's won other accolades in the amateur ranks. And he ended up winning the WBO World Championship as a heavyweight. This was in the 90s. So basically, who Tommy, who Michael Bent beat was Tommy Morrison. Tommy Morrison was a beast back in the day. Tommy Morrison was knocking out everybody. The Duke. Um, Tommy Morrison played on Rocky Five. You know what I mean? World heavyweight champion. He was something to be reckoned with. Tommy Morrison was a talented, very very strong person in general. And Michael Bent and Tommy Morrison, they made the fight happen. They um, pretty much got in the ring and they did what they did, but ultimately Michael Bent knocked out Tommy Morrison. He knocked him out. Nobody expected that at that time. Um, Michael Bent became a world champion. I don't believe Michael Bent really believed he would ever be world champion prior to him being world champion, but he did it. And after winning his world championship, Michael Bent fought a fighter called named Herbie Hyde. Herbie Hyde knocked out Michael Bent. Michael Bent ended up having a brain injury, and his brain swelled. A lot of fluid in his brain formed. He had a brain bleed as well. I'm pretty sure, but basically he had a brain. He had brain trauma from being knocked out, and he later collapsed in the locker room, and it was the news, came to him. He was in a coma, as a matter of fact, too, for about a week or so, if I'm not mistaken. And Michael Bent was informed that he should not box again. He was medically advised that he should not box again. If he decides to box again, he's putting his health and his life in danger. So Michael Bent pretty much, to make a long story short, he went into his writing stage where he started writing and stuff like that, and it was The Anatomy of a Knockout. The reason why I know this information is because I saw a few years ago, and it just dawned on me to talk about this based on what happened to Shadasia Green. Um, it's a show called Losers. Michael Bent has an episode on that show. He gives a description of his life as an amateur, and he highlights his accolades and highlights what was going on prior to him being a boxer, and life as a boxer and life after a boxer. So it was, it is my favorite show to watch. I really enjoy that segment that Michael Bent put out there on that show called Losers. It's multiple athletes, and they pretty much tell their story. And Michael Bent, as I said before, is one of my favorites. So Michael Bent ended up becoming something great, man, in terms of writing. He played in several movies such as Ali with Will Smith. Michael Bent played as Sonny Liston in Ali. He also played in State Property. I think he starred in Cinderella Man and a movie called Public Enemies with Johnny Depp. So Michael Bent, he made some of himself, man. He really made some of himself. He did some great things, life after boxing. And I say all of that to say, Shadasia Green, she may not return the same. That competitive nature is going to always be there. However, when you have a real serious injury, a brain injury, I don't think you never return back the same when you get back into the sport of physical contact. You know what I mean? That's a serious injury. That's something that should be taken seriously. And she may not even box again. She may not box again, but that doesn't mean that her career or her life is on hold. There's multiple things you can do, not just in boxing, but just in life. When you get injured, and it's time to get out that game or those circumstances, you got to have an alternative. Try to find your natural abilities, and try to minimize as much physical and mental punishment as possible. And I think that's what not just Shadasia Green, but just anybody in general, whether it's in the ring or outside of the ring, in the cage, outside of the cage, you know what I mean? We gotta know what we're really good at, you know what I mean, outside of our profession, our primary profession. So I say this for a particular reason where we have to take our health as serious as possible. We're nothing without our health. And shout out to Shadasia Green. I hope she recovers really, really well. But I think she should really think about, in terms of what she said, returning back. There's a really big chance that she won't return back to the sport of boxing as a fighter, but she can return back as a trainer, an advisor. Is multiple ways to do things. Um, and I turn a page on Michael Bent. Michael Bent still trained actors and stuff like that. That was also on the show Losers as well. So it's very inspiring to see that when a person is doing one thing and they do something totally different, but they still have a little bit of what they used to do in their newfound glory or their newfound career. So if you haven't seen the show, check the show out, man. It's called Losers. The fighter is Michael Bent, intelligent brother, very very smart. He accomplished a lot of things in life, man, in terms of being a world champion, being an amateur champion, and also being a champion and just turning the page to his another chapter, becoming respected as a writer, an actor, producer, and or director. So um, I hope everybody that does anything that's physical and demanding, as such as boxing or any type of combat sport, always have a backup plan and always try to figure out like, yo, I can do something else. A lot of boxers, I think the stigma goes out like where they say that boxers don't know how to do anything else. But the thing is, they do. They just got to go out there and do it. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say. You know what I mean? Um, have a little bit to the side, because what we give to our careers and what we give to the things that we're good at, we can also take from that, as I said before, and we can apply it to something brand new and something a lot more insightful and less anxious. So that's just my overall, view on the situation or whatever. I hope she recovers very, very well. Congratulations to Lonnie Daniels on her win. And this is neutral speculation. That's my take on the situation. Protect yourself, protect your brain, protect your body, and go out there and do what you do, but do it to your very, very best. That's all I got to say for today.